Welcome back to Living Local. 2020 was no doubt a historical year. As we still grapple with many challenges following us into 2021, it's important to find ways to move forward. Today we're exploring some simple tricks to practice resilience, gratitude, and mindfulness for a healthier, happier, and stronger new year. Joining us via Zoom today is Dr. Lynda Ulrich. She is the author and TEDx speaker. Dr. Lynda, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks. I'm delighted to be here. You've got a great mission.
Absolutely. So before we get into starting the new year off right, can you tell us a little bit about your background as an author and speaker and the topics that you share about?
Well, I was a dentist for 25 years. When I started really starting to pick up that patients, even as early as 2012-13, were struggling with the negative news cycle. Mm-hmm. And then one day, a nice young patient asked me a compelling question that I couldn't answer. And so I began the journey I'm on now. And the reason I'm talking to you, I've published thousands of articles on all the good things happening in the world that almost no one knows about on a website called Ever Widening Circles.
Mm-hmm. Wow, Dr. Lynda, a dentist transformed into a writer and speaker and author. This is incredible. And I love that you are highlighting what is going good, what is going right in this world, because I think it's so easy to focus on the negative, especially after a year like 2020. Now, on starting the new year off right, of course, 2020 was tumultuous, and your TEDx talk is all about opening a new era. It's called Exposing the Conspiracy of Goodness. So tell us about the conspiracy of goodness.
Well, I'll tell you, there is an enormous wave of goodness and progress happening in the world that almost no one knows about. I mean, that's what we focus on at Ever Widening Circles, is bringing things to the surface that are getting buried in the chaos and the negativity of the 24-hour news cycle, and especially social media. And so what we're doing, and what my experience tells me, is that if we're careful, if we can make about 4 practical shifts in the way what we give our attention to, and I'm happy to share those with you, we can start seeing the world that we see at Ever Widening Circles, and we can open a new era. It's really about what we give our attention to.
Right, and I'm so excited to hear more about those 4 strategies. And in your book, Happiness is an Option, you mention those 4 simple shifts that we can make while using the internet that will improve our online lives. So can you tell us more about those?
Okay, and these are explained in the TED Talk really clearly. And there's a website called 4shifts.com. Mm-hmm. So just take in what I'm saying, and then you can go to the TED Talk or to get the details on how you do this. 4 simple shifts. What we need to do is pause before we click on anything in our online lives, because what we click on, we get more of. Someone is counting every click we make, whether it's content creators or our algorithms. And if we pause just for a millisecond, we can get up to this more calculating part of our brain and say, oh, I'm going to be more savvy with my clicks. And we can do the second shift, which is to ignore more. Mm-hmm. So, you know, when you're scrolling away and clicking for a millisecond, scrolling and clicking, that kind of clicking is determining what you see next. So if we ignored about 80% of the chaos that we're clicking on, we would see an entirely different world. That's the world we see at Ever Widening Circles. And then, of course, the last 2 are seek signs of goodness and progress and share it, because that's how we're going to open a new era together. It's all about what we share.
Oh, I love that. And they're so simple. Just pause.
Yeah.
And ignore more. I love that tip. And seek the goodness and then share that goodness that you find. I love that so much. Now, Dr. Lynda, in your book, you give people many practical tips for how we can thrive in spite of all that negativity on the internet and especially on social media. So can you share some of those practical tips with us?
Okay. I never click out of ABC mode. This is the easiest thing to remember. Do not engage with content out of anger, A, boredom, B, or see kind of morbid curiosity. You know that picture of the blobfish or this big snake with a human form in it? Just don't click on it. If someone's making some mean social media click, don't click on it. Because if you write the savviest post in the world as a retort, you know that just gives them it rewards people on the internet, because our attention is the game that everyone's playing for. So never click out of ABC mode. Only click on things that seem thoughtful and helpful, and that will be what multiplies in your life. It's the way the internet's built. We can use that to open a new era.
Right, that's such a simple strategy there, and I know that I feel convicted because I've clicked on stuff for A, B, and C before, so
Yes.
that's wonderful that you highlight that, just so we can enhance our awareness about, okay, why am I actually clicking on this? Pause, like you said before, and then kind of make sure that we are making our attention on something that is thoughtful and positive.
Yeah.
Well,
It
Dr.
doesn't
Lynda,
even necessarily have to be positive. It can just be thoughtful and helpful.
right,
Because
absolutely.
if we just go for positivity, there's kind of we might miss some things that are important. So go for thoughtful and helpful. And I think our brains are kind of hardwired to know who's trying to be both. And we can give our attention to them in 2021, and we will elevate a lot of things that could be changing the future.
Well, Dr. Lynda, here is to being more thoughtful and helpful in 2021. Thank you so much for joining us and for all the practical strategies.
Okay, have a great day. Thanks.
For more information, you can find Dr. Lynda Ulrich on Facebook at Ever Widening Circles. We'll also have those details posted on ourquadcities.com.